Alright, hello everyone. This is Brics part 36, and I'm gonna go into, the following is for research purposes, trying to understand what is coming with Brics and what's separate from Brics and what the United States is planning on doing. So, let's get into this. Okay, so we're in quantum banking. Some YouTube videos in here I might check out sometime. Okay, so let's see here. Whoa. Okay, hold on. I don't trust Wikipedia, but I am gonna look up quantum um, finance in my research and peer review just to see what's going on. Okay, so hold on. I clicked on something and I didn't mean for this to pop up. Okay, going back to this. Okay, so quantum, what does quantum mean in banking? A quantum money scheme is a quantum cryptographic protocol to create and validate banknotes which are impossible to forge. The key idea is arbitrary quantum states cannot in general be perfectly copied. Okay. So these banks have JP Morgan, Citigroup, and Wells Fargo. And we're going to get into some of that stuff here soon because I got statements, especially from Wells Fargo, MasterCard, and Bank of America about quantum banking, along with other things like uh, uh, the business infrastructure and security, I think it is, or security. I forget what BIS stands for. The WEF and other things. The International Monetary Fund. I got research from all those, but right now we're going over this one. Quantum finance is a new model. And money is real and takes the form of cash and assets. Um, and it resolves the problems of the standard model. Okay, let's continue. Who invented quantum banking? Stephen Weisner gave birth to the idea of quantum money in the late 1960s. Okay. Is Wells Fargo on the quantum financial system? Yes, and we're gonna get into that. Okay, that's just some stuff. Okay. Okay. Blah blah. Here's a list of companies that are investing in quantum computing: IBM, Alphabet, Intel, Microsoft, Amazon, and quantum computing. So you might want to invest in those companies, maybe. Okay. Trying to see if there's anything. Okay, quantum computers will eventually break much of today's encryption. Okay? And that includes the signing algorithm of Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies. Approximately 1/4 of Bitcoin is in circulation in 2022 is vulnerable to quantum attack, according to a study by Delotti. Okay, so And this is why I'm not doing much with Bitcoin and crypto. Okay? This is why I'm more focused towards gold, is because the laws that I've seen have already come out, talking about states coining their own gold. So, my belief is that Bitcoin, now I'm not a financial advisor, this is just going off of research, but I perceive Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies crashing. Okay, where is quantum cryptography used? It's also governments and militaries. Okay. Okay. Okay, one of the reasons that businesses like Barclays are monitoring progress in quantum computing is so that we can be aware of timelines for such threats. Quantum computing has the potential to transform many aspects of financial services. Okay. Okay, I'm not looking to invest in any of that stuff. I'm just sticking with gold and silver because I know it's safe during this time, or at least I feel it is. Okay, hold on. Hold on. Quantum banking is a phenomenon where bankers allocate money in more than one place at the same time. The other term for this is fractional reserve banking. Hmm. That I don't really like because I want to get away from fractional reserve banking. I think QFS stands for something different. Is that all of this? Yeah. Okay. So, okay. So, this right here, I want you to pay attention. See, it says BIS right here. That stands for, let me just make sure. This is the Banking for International Settlements. Okay? So, this relates to so this is Banking for International Settlements. Let's see what they say, because this is quantum computing in the financial system, opportunities and risk. Okay, so quantum computers are still in the experimental phase, but in the future they may have profound impact. This was in 2024. So I'm reading, you can read too. Okay, this paper explores the transformative potential of quantum mechanics and its applications in a financial system, including the potential benefits as well as the main risk. Okay, so let's get into it. Okay, I'm gonna have to go read the full PDF here. Okay. We read the abstract. Okay. Okay, reading. So if you want to read, that's cool too. Okay, so right now it's only reached 1,000 qubits. Um, by 2033, they're hoping for 2,000 qubits. Okay, but okay, this is what I think scary. If they're trying to rush this. Okay, we need quantum computing to be around 1 trillion to 1 million qubits, or 1 million to trillion qubits, for it to be really, really efficient. So we are really far off from that. Uh, in other words, okay, so if there's 1,000 qubits, more than likely, that means that an error will occur in 1,000 simulations. Now, that's why you need 1 million to 1 trillion qubits, is because that means they can do 1 million or 1 trillion, um, whatchamacallit, scenarios, um, and only an error will show up in 1 million to 1 trillion, scenarios. It would be more accurate. And they've talked about that they already have possibly 1 million down, which is where we need to be, I believe, for this. But let's see what some of this has to say. Okay, so this is interesting. In the financial sector, QC's quantum computers could offer new possibilities by enhancing risk assessments, optimizing portfolio management, improving microanalysis, and many other areas. Combined with artificial intelligence, it may also provide significant value, for example, in fraud detection or trading strategies. Okay? So, let's keep going. This is just talking about what quantum computers do. You know, I kind of basically understand it. Basically, it's right here. Unlike classical computers, which process information in binary digits or bits that can be either 1 or 0, a quantum computer uses quantum bits or qubits. A qubit can exist in a state of superposition with a certain probability of a 0 and a certain probability of being a 1. Blah, blah, blah. Basically, it can calculate what a normal computer can do in like seconds, because a normal computer has to go through each scenario one step at a time, where a quantum computer can basically do it all at once. Okay, so now that I hope we got an understanding for that. Um, okay, see what I was talking about. At the time of writing, which they were talking about, I guess 2022 right here. Okay, the largest experimental quantum computers have just over 1,000 physical qubits, while according to some estimates, 1 million physical qubits are needed for quantum computers to start addressing practical problems. Like I was just saying earlier, we need to get to the million or the trillion area, because of what I was saying, that if you have 1 million qubits, you can do like 1 million calculations and then just one error happens. Now, with 1,000 or 433, you know, that limits you to 433 scenarios where 1,000 physical qubits would be approximately in every 1,000 simulations an error occurs. Um, so I hope you learned something about quantum computing from this. Okay. Okay, so quantum computing applications in the financial system. Where are we? How long have we been doing this? We're gonna stop right here today. I hope you got something from this. You kind of see the direction. I talked a little bit about quantum computing, the quantum financial system a little bit. We're going through these research so and it is important that you understand what quantum computing can do, and that's why I brought up the whole thing about the qubits and everything like that. Um, so we really need a million or a trillion qubits, which I think IBM or somebody came out and stated that earlier. You can probably Google it, that they can do it, or at least they say they can do it. But you need that many in order to like really come out with a system like this to really reduce error. Um, so an AI can probably help with that. So we're gonna go ahead and stop right here today. We're on quantum computing applications in the financial system. This is Brics part 36. So I will see you next Monday for Brics part 37. And like I said, I have like stuff with MasterCard, WEF, and Bank of America, and I think Wells Fargo also talking about all this. So we're just really hitting the beginning right here. And I'm trying to lay a good foundation and introduction. But I'll link what I went over in the description. Alright? Alright. Well, you guys have a good one. Peace out and bye. And this has been a Brics Part 36 production, a QFS, Quantum Finance and Quantum Computer production. And I will see you next Monday.